Good morning, class and children. Welcome back. Hope you all are safe and fine at home. Before I would take up today's online class, I just want to tell you a very important thing. That is, uh, I guess many of you are not serious viewing the online videos which are made and then posted for you all to go through on the syllabus or the chapters we have in the textbook. This is very, what you call, disheartening on the part of we all teachers, that you all are not at all serious, not at all bothered about your studies. So I want you all to uh, pay full attention as you are in the regular class, and take up all the online classes very seriously, because these are all for you, uh, and you all know what is the world going on now, and when the school would get reopened, you are pretty sure that will be having a very handful time to complete the remaining of the chapters in the syllabus. That's why whatever chapters are being taught by all the subject teachers through online classes, please view them up and complete all the works as assigned to you through online classes, because these chapters are not going to get repeated when the school gets reopened, right? So be careful and be serious to whatever online classes are given to you. So now let us come back to see what we still have more to do in our syllabus. We are doing treasure trove, and the happiest part in this textbook is we have completed the poetry section uh, in the book. All the 10 poems we have already finished. Uh, Few of the chapter notes are to be provided, that will be given to you, and as per the instructions you carry on. Today let us come back to see the stories, and when we see the content in the story section, out of the 10 stories we have already completed 8 of them, and that means we are left with 2 more stories to do. So today I'm going to begin with the ninth chapter in the syllabus. Uh, though it is quite a long chapter, so I think okay, I'll not be able to complete the complete chapter in uh, one online class. So we'll have part 1 and then we'll have part 2. So part 2 will be in the next video. So see, so uh, we all know how the world has advanced in these days. We are perhaps many of us are tired of living in this earth, and scientists are trying their level best to see uh, life is possible to exist in the other planets, and many people have the notion that they would shift to another planet to live their life, right? So how this is going to happen? Will the other planets be as safeful and as beautiful as our earth is? This is what the author has tried to tell us through his story, and especially to those people who believe that life in the other planets are more suitable, more comfortable, more beautiful than living in our planet Earth. So the author has the answer given to all those people who are intending to live their life in the other planet in the future to come. So, what does the writer say in the story? Let us try to find out. So, the story is the 10th chapter. We have All Summer in a Day, written by Ray Douglas Bradbury. So, let's now come to it. So, this is an interesting chapter because it is going to tell us the difference of living our life um, in the other planets, right? So we'll have to understand what the author is wanting to tell us through his story, right? So first of all, let us try to brief uh, the author. Here, All Summer in a Day is written by Ray Douglas Bradbury, and Ray Douglas Bradbury was born on 22nd August in the year 1920 in US. That means he was born after the First World War, and he died on 5th June in the year 2012 after living his life of 91 years. So he is a modern man because his death, you see, took place in 2012. It's not that long time back. He is a contemporary author, right? So the great author Ray Douglas Bradbury was an American author uh, who wrote his stories based on science fiction, horror, and mystery fiction. And in fact, today's story, All Summer in a Day, is also based on science fiction. So here we'll have uh, a girl character whose name is Margot, uh, the main character, the protagonist of the story, right? So now what does the author say in his story? Let us begin. All Summer in a Day, written by Ray Douglas Bradbury. So this story was published in the year 1954 in the magazine of fantasy and science fiction, right? So here the author has tried to depict the picture of the planet Venus. Here the author is going to tell us how is planet Venus? Is there life possible? A person who has traveled from planet Earth to planet Venus, is it adjustable out there? Will the man from Earth be able to live his life comfortably as he lives here on Earth in planet Venus? This is what here the author is going to tell us. So let's now begin. All Summer in a Day. The story begins in a school. We have reached to planet Venus now, and is going to see how the planet Venus is. Now let's see. The story opens in a school. I see we are in a school. Ready? We are in a classroom, a particular classroom in the school in planet Venus. The teacher entered and then asked the students, "Are we all ready, children?" The children replied, "Ready, dear teacher, we are all ready." Then the teacher asked, "Now?" Then the students replied, "Soon," right? Then the question was asked, "Do the scientists really know? Will it happen today? Will it?" So there is something uh, going to take place. Something is going to occur. That's why they are with a question. Are the scientists really true to what they are going to know? What they are going to tell us? Is it really going to happen today that the scientists have told us? The children have the queries. Now see, look, see for yourself, the teacher replied. The teacher said, "Wait and look, wait and watch." Right? You will see yourself whether it is possible, and the scientists have told what is going to happen is very true. The children pressed to each other like so many roses. So the children all got into one place, right? They all pressed into one place. So many weeds, they look like weeds. Weeds are the unwanted grasses, unwanted plants, intermix. They are mixed together or huddle up, peering out for a look at the hidden sun. And they all are looking cautiously to get the glimpse of the sun rising in the sky. So this is what is going to happen. Today is the day that the sun is going to rise. Now why I am telling that today is the day the sun is going to rise? Because where we are in planet Venus. And the sunrise is not common like we have here on Earth. It is in a different time that is going to rise. That's why the children are long awaited to see the sunrise. Now see, it rained, and see, planet Venus is receiving the rain, and it's raining and raining and raining. Now see, it had been raining for 7 years. And how long does the rain in planet Venus? It rains for continuous 7 years. So imagine what will happen, how your life is when you are uh, living on planet Venus, receiving the rain for 7 continuous rainfall, right? 7 years continuous rainfall, right? Thousands upon thousands of days compounded. So thousands upon thousands of days compounded. Compounded means combined, right? And filled from one end to the other with rain. So there is no stoppage of rain on the planet Venus. There is rain and rain and rain and rain, right? With the drum and gush of water, with the sweet crystal fall of showers, and the confusion means impact, disturbance of storms, so heavy there were tidal waves come over the islands. So see what is the condition in planet Venus. There is rain and rain and rain, and everywhere you will see, right, pool of water. Life becomes very tough to just out there. Here on earth itself, you see, if there is continuous rain for 2 3 days, life becomes very difficult. But look at the rain that rains in planet Venus. It rains for 7 years continuously without stoppage, right? 1,000 forests had been crushed under the rain and grown up 1,000 times to be crushed again. So see, what is the forest like up in planet Venus? 1,000 forests had been crushed under the rain. So there is always rain and rain and rain. And another thousands times it is going to be crushed. Say, and this was the way life was forever on the planet Venus. And this is how the continuous life exists in planet Venus. And this was the schoolroom of the children of the rocket men and women who had come to a raining world to set up civilization and live out their lives. And many people have now traveled to planet Venus in the story, right? So they are called rocket men and women because they have gone from Earth, right, to planet Venus, right, by rocket. So now they are going to set up their civilization and live their life in such difficulty up in planet Venus. So how difficult times they are facing there, right? It is stopping, it is stopping. Now the children looking outside, they saw the rain is now slowing down and stopping. So they are all shouting together, the rain is stopping, the rain is stopping. Right? The children all said, yes, yes, the rain is stopping. So how eager are these children to see the sun, which is going to rise after 7 years. So see, Margot, the main character in the story, stood apart. That means was different from the rest of the others. Who is the main character, the protagonist of the story, Margot. She is a girl, stood apart from them. So she remained aloof. She remained different from the rest of the children. From these children who could ever remember a time when there wasn't rain and rain and rain. So these are the little kids. They are the small children, right? So many among them may not have seen the sun earlier. This is the first time they are going to see the sunrise or the sun coming in the sky, right? They have always seen rain and rain and rain, right? They were all 9 years old. So these children were 9 years old, right? Understand? So that means they have seen the sunrise just once in their life. when they were 2 years old, because after 7 years there is the sunrise taking place, and it remains only for 1 hour. The sun remains in the sky only for 1 hour, and thereafter again rainfall. Right? So they are now 9 years old. So that means when they were 2 years old, they had seen the first time the sun rising in the sky. So a 2 years old child, right? What remembrance the child has, right? So he knows nothing about um, what he or she has seen. So they were all 9 years old, and if there had been a day 7 years ago when the sun came out for an hour and showed his face to the stunned world, they could not recall. Right? So a 2 years old child who has seen the sun rising only for an hour, that means the sun remains only for 60 minutes in the sky, right? They see, right? They stand. So they don't recall at all. That means they don't remember at all. They don't have any recollection of how the sun looks like, right? So because they were 2 years old, merely an infant, you can say, right? Now they have grown 9 years old, and now they are going to see, they are going to view the sunrise in the sky, right? Which will remain only for 1 hour. Now see, sometimes at night she heard them stir. Stir means moving. Now, we are talking about Margot, who is now gone to planet Venus. So she heard them start moving in remembrance, and she knew they were dreaming and remembering gold or a yellow crayon or a coin large enough to buy the world with. So these all children are just remembering. They are not sure how a sun looks like. Right? They are only remembering the sun may look like this. It may look like coin shape, which is roundish in shape. Right? Or it may be yellow colored. Right? She knew, they thought they remembered a warmness, like a blushing in the face, in the body, in the arms and legs, and trembling hands. But then they always awoke to the tattling drums. Tattling is beating of drums. The endless shaking down of clear beads necklaces upon the roof, the walk, the gardens, the forest, and their dreams were all shattered. Right? So these children are hoping when the rain will stop so that they can come out from their resting places, from their homes, right? And then move about, walk here and there, go to rooftop, enjoy the beautiful view of the sunrise, right? But when they come into reality, their dreams get shattered, right? Their dreams are all gone, because what do they see when they get up? They see only the rain, right? There's only the rain in planet Venus, right? All day yesterday they had read in class about the sun. So yesterday there was a teaching in the class about the sun, right? The teacher had taught the children about the sun and the rise of the sun, about how like a lemon it was. The teacher told the children that how a sun looks like. A sun looks like lemon. Lemon is roundish in shape, circle in shape, right? And how hot. And the teacher also told that the sun is a huge ball of fire, is very hot, right? And they had written small stories or essays or poems about it. And the children have written various writings on sun. Some wrote small stories, some wrote essays on sun, some wrote poems on sun, right? I think the sun is a flower that blooms for just 1 hour, right? So according to the children, they think that okay, sun is flower-like. It remains blooming only for 1 hour and thereafter withers away, dries, right? So look at the imagination of the children regarding the sun in planet Venus, right? They have hardly seen sun, right? And even if they have seen it, they have no remembrance of the sun, because when they have seen, they were just 2 years old. Now they have grown 9 years old. So they have seen sun only once in their life. Now see, that was Margaret's poem. Read in a quiet voice in the still classroom while the rain was falling outside. Right? So one girl whose name is Margaret, the main character, she wrote a poem on sun and she read her written poem in the class. Right? When the rain was falling outside. Right? Because she is a child who has gone from Earth to planet Venus. Now she is an Earth girl. That means she is used to with the earthly atmosphere, the earthly routine, and she knows the sun comes here daily on earth, right? So she has well remembrance of uh, uh, the sun, right? Oh, you didn't write that, protested one of the boys. But one among uh, the children protested, went against her point, and said that you did not write this poem, right? I did, said Margot, I did. But Margot said that it is she who has written that poem. It is she who has written that poem. But the others did not agree to it. William, said the teacher, right? And one such particular boy uh, was among the boys whose name is William. The teacher scolded the boy, William, right? Telling, okay, William, keep your mouth shut. Don't, tease a girl, or don't argue with a girl. Then see, but that was yesterday. But it was yesterday's class which happened. Now the rain was slackening. Now the rain is slowing down. Right? Slackening is slowing down. And the children were crushed in the great thick windows. And the children were crushed. Crushed means crowded. The children all got together near the window to see the first rise of the sun in the sky. Right? Where is teacher? Asked some children. The teacher was not there at that moment in that class. She had come in and thereafter again taken leave. Right? The children inquired where the teacher is. She'll be back. Some of the children shouted that the teacher has gone out and will be back into the class very soon. Should better hurry. We'll miss it. Right? And some children said, let the teacher come as early as possible. Right? Otherwise, we'll not be able to see the sunrise. Because the sun will rise in the sky. Right? It will remain there in the sky only for 1 hour. Right? So she would better hurry. So I wish the teacher come back soon. If teacher will not be here, we'll miss to see the sunrise. Because it will be the teacher who will permit them, right, to go out or to stand near the window and see. Right? They turned on themselves like a feverish will. Feverish means damaged will. Right? The children are restless. Right? Each one is wanting to go near to the window so that he or she can get the better glimpse of the sunrise. Right? All tumbling spooks and all are falling here, falling there, right? Puzzling, jostling, right, each other. And after all, they are small kids, right? Margot stood alone, but Margot was untouched. She was alone because she is an earthly girl, right? She is different than the other children. The rest of the children are all from planet Venus. She was a very frail girl. She was a weak girl. Frail means weak. She was a weak child. Physically, she was a weak child who looked as if she had been lost in the rain for years, and the rain had washed out the blue from her eyes, and the red from her mouth, and the yellow from her hair, right? So she looked completely different. Whatever energy she had, whatever strength she had when she was here on earth and went up to the planet Venus, she was completely a changed girl. She looked completely changed. She was a very frail girl who looked as if she had been lost in the rain for years, because up in planet Venus there is 7 years continuous rainfall. Perhaps she was lost in the rain, right? As said, and the rain had washed out the blue from her eyes, so the sign in her eyes is also lost, right? And the red from her mouth, and the yellow from her hair, all things are lost here. So she did not look like a girl from earth, right? So on earth the people have varieties in their appearance, but as you go up in heaven, in the other planet like Venus, as said, they all are quite similar in the look, because there is always, right, rainfall, right, and there is the absence of sun, right? The sun appears in the sky only for once, right? That also after 7 years, and it remains there only for 1 hour. She was an old photograph dusted from an album. So she looked as if she was an old photograph which is now taken out from the photograph album. Whitened away, so she was whitened, pale in the look, right? No redness, right? And if she spoke at all, her voice would be a ghost. And if she spoke there, she would sound like a ghost, right? She is completely a changed girl up to when she went up to the planet Venus. Now she stood separate, staring at the rain and the loud, wet world beyond the huge glass. Now she has also the curiosity to look the sun, right? Sun rising in the sky, like all other children are awaited to see, right? But she is a very disturbed girl up in the planet Venus because she is an earthly girl. She has all the routine of her earthly set routine, but when she has gone to planet Venus, she is completely a change. She is not adapted to the atmosphere of planet Venus, right? What are you looking at? Said William. And William came and asked Margaret, what are you looking at? Margaret said nothing. She remained quiet. Right? Speak when you are spoken to, said William angrily. And William angrily told the girl, Margaret, right? I'm asking you something. Why are you not replying me? When someone is asking you something, telling you something, it is the decent part that you should reply. Right? That is what William said angrily to her. He gave her a shove, but when she did not say anything, William then pushed her forcefully. Shove means pushed her forcefully, right? But she did not move, but she remained there. Rather, she let herself be moved only by him and nothing else, right? Finally, she was pushed aside. She was taken aside. They edged away from her. The edge means they stood away from her. They stayed away from her. They stayed aloof from her, right? From her. They would not look at her. So the children of planet Venus were originally from there. They tried themselves to maintain a gap with Margaret, right? Because she was an earthly girl, right? She felt them go away. She also wanted the children to go away from her, right? Because their natures are not matching, isn't it? And this was because she would play no games with them in the echoing tunnels of the underground city. So it is because why the planet Venus children tried to avoid, right, Margot, because she was not taking part to play games with them in the underground playing places, right? If they tagged her and ran, she should she stood blinking after them and did not follow. And some children are naughty. They come and touch her, push her, and then they run away, right? But she stood there, okay, blinking her eyes, but did not follow them, right? So she herself considered a different sort of girl from these children. So she remained away from them. When the class sang songs about happiness and life and games, her lips barely moved. When the rest of the children are singing about the happiness of their life and games, about life, right, her lips did not move at all. Right? She barely moved her lips. Only when they sang about the sun and the summer did her lips move as she watched the drenched windows. And when these children sang the song about summer and the sunrise in the sky, her lips also moved, right, that time. And she watched uh, the the window glass or the door glass being wet, completely wet in water. And then, of course, the biggest crime of all was that she had come here only 5 years ago. Now, the biggest difference with these children was she had come to planet Venus only 5 years ago. Right? So, see, from Earth, she has traveled from Earth to planet Venus 5 years ago, and she remembered the sun and the way the sun was and the sky was when she was four in OU, right? So she was here up to 4 years age on planet Earth, right? She was living in OU city in America here, right? And she has now gone to the planet Venus. It's been 5 years now. Um, she is also a 9-year-old girl, right? For the first 4 years of her life, she has been here on Earth. So she knows how the sun looks like, right? And they had been on Venus all their lives, but the rest of the children had been in the planet Venus for the rest of their lives, in all their lives. And they had been only 2 years old when last the sun came out and had long since forgotten the color and heat of it and the way it really was. So these children were originally from planet Venus and they know nothing about sun because they had seen sun just once in their life when they were 2 years old. So they know nothing about the sun now. They have forgotten everything, right? They have no remembrance. But Margaret remembered. But Margaret has the remembrance of the sun and the sunrise and how it looks like because she was here on earth till 4 years of her life, right? It is like a penny, she said once, eyes closed. And once, on an inquiry, Margaret told the children that the sun looks like a penny. Penny is a coin which is roundish in shape, right? No, it is not, the children cried. But the rest of the children protested. They went against and said that no, the sun does not look like penny. It does not look like uh, the coin. It does not look roundish, right? It is like a fire, she said in the storm. And she even told that the sun is not just round, it is also very hot. Just like you see, you feel the heat when the stove is burned, right? She said. You're lying, you don't remember, cried the children. But the rest of the children here protested and said that you are a liar. You are lying, right? You don't remember at all that how the sun looks like or what the sun is made of, right? So this is what here the children of the planet Venus, um, I mean, showed their differences with the earthly girl Margot, right? Here, the girl Margot has gone to the planet Venus because she was taken up there by her parents for a change of their living from planet Earth to planet Venus. But look at the way how the girl suffered. Uh, though there is a school, she attends the school, but the children are not cooperative, right, with her, right? They always have the arguments. She's not taken along with them. She always stays aloof. She keeps herself okay away from them because their natures are not matching, right? They are not of the same nature. That's why it is very tough for Margot to adjust there. She perhaps is in depression why she has come up there, right? Now what more happens in the rest of the story we'll again see in our next online class. Thank you very much.